Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a dead simple staple breakfast that you can have every day or most days. If you're used to a traditional Western diet, like you're used to having something dead quick for breakfast that's not very filling, get you through to lunchtime, this isn't that. It takes a little bit longer to prepare, it takes about 15-20 minutes, but the idea is that it's dead filling, it's going to sit on your stomach for a long time, so that you can just keep drinking water through the day, and then like when it comes to lunchtime you should only need like a smaller snack rather than a big meal, and that'll carry you through to tea time. So what I've got here is the seitan. That's about 20-25 grams. That's a quarter cup of rice. It's more than enough for me because I'm a little guy, but if you're a bit bigger you might want to put up to an extra eighth of a cup of rice in, but obviously it expands. And then a vegetable. So I appreciate that mushrooms aren't actually on the meal plan, but it's all I've got in at the moment. I'd normally use like half a small onion, or if you've got cabbage in, that is a really great filler. But I'm just going to use these 2 mushrooms and a little bit of frozen peas. Sure, you know how to make rice, but yeah, rinse, cover with boiling water, like at least twice the amount of water as you've got rice. I always put a little bit extra on just so it comes out soft. Bit of salt, just let that boil up, and then we're just going to reduce and cover and simmer for 12 minutes. It's good to mix up the type of veg you put in this anyway, because if you're eating it daily like I usually do, then you know, you want a bit of variety. So just set these on a super low heat, and basically I'm just going to sweat them for a bit. Do the same with whatever you're using, onions, cabbage, whatever, just sweat it for a while and cut up your seitan into nice little pieces. Okay, while everything's cooking, you're going to just mix up some sort of stock, not a lot of it. I really love using miso in this. But if you're sticking to the 28-day plan, you can't use miso every day, because your jar of miso, you only get 10 portions out of it, and 4 of them you're going to be using to make the seitan anyway. So if you're sticking to that, you're going to need to use half a stock cube, and you're probably going to have to buy more stock cubes halfway through the month. But they're only 50p for 10, so it's well within your budget. Okay, if like me you're using a bit of frozen veg in today's breakfast, you can just stick that straight into the stock so it can start defrosting. Because you're not actually going to put these on to boil or anything, they'll just cook within the whole mixture. Okay, the veg is sweat up nicely. I'm going to chuck the seitan in. I'm just going to cook this for a few minutes like this. If your seitan's particularly soft and squishy like mine, you might want to put a teeny bit of oil in. Okay, this stuff's cooking up. Rice is nearly done at this point, so you want to preheat your oven to 180. Okay, this rice is perfect because you can see it's still got moisture in, which you want, but it's also cooked off from the bottom. So what we're going to do in here is we're just going to chuck some salt and pepper, some turmeric in. If you're using, you don't need too much salt because you've got your stock. Yeah, it's just for flavour and colour. Okay, rice is ready. I'd normally put just a teeny bit of Vitalite in this, just to make it a bit stickier, but because I've used oil on the seitan and the mushrooms, I've not put any Vitalite in there. Okay, you can see the seitan's slightly fried there. Incidentally, if you've made a tougher seitan, which I often like to do, you don't really need to fry it. Basically, you just want it to be not as squashy as it was before. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, if you make a thicker one, you don't really need to do that. Okay, this is nearly ready. And to be honest, if you're in a rush, you can just like eat it like this. But I think it's much nicer if you do this. So chuck your stock in, bit of veg. We're going to mix that up. Right, so what I'm going to do now is basically cover this. We're going to stick it in the oven until the liquid is basically cooked off, and that is going to be super flavourful. Really, really tasty. You just need to make sure that you're stirring the mixture every couple of minutes. Yeah, this is what makes this dish go from just a nice satisfying breakfast to something really delicious. Okay, it's about half done, I think. I'm just going to give it a good stir. And you might be wondering why I'm going to all this effort and spending half an hour making breakfast. The thing is, when you're in survival mode and you have to eat something like this every day, and to be honest, I eat this like quite a lot of the time anyway, regardless, because it's really good. But when you are in survival mode and like you're living off really limited foods and you're eating the same type of stuff all the time, it can be really depressing. And what you want to do is you want to make your food as enjoyable as possible. So taking this extra step to kind of bake this with a nice stock is really the difference. It'll make it bang. And you'll look forward to eating your breakfast every day, which, you know, like if you've not got a lot of variety, looking forward to your food makes a huge difference to your mental well-being. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this. And whenever I make this dish, I always add this step in. I can wait the extra 10 minutes. Okay, and we're done. So you can see all the liquids cooked off. Now this is honestly really delicious meal, and it costs pennies. I've just done the maths on it actually with Google's help, and I've used basically 7 pence worth of seitan and 8 pence worth of rice in this dish. And then if you're making it with vegetable stock, 2.5 pence worth of vegetable stock. But if you're making it with miso soup, it's actually 15 pence worth of miso soup. So the miso is more expensive. It's as expensive as both the rice and the seitan put together, which does make it a treat. So this is made with miso. It's delicious. And obviously, if you're not eating on a budget, make it with miso every time. It's well worth it. So what I'm going to do to finish this off is add some nooch. Now, again, nooch isn't on the budget shopping list because there is no room in that list for nooch. It would take up most of the remaining money. But nearly every vegan has nooch in your cupboard, so sprinkling a nooch and then you've got yourself a complete meal. Okay, and that's it. Honestly, one taste of this bad boy and you won't be thinking breakfast. You'll be thinking, I'm making this for tea and I'm going to use it to impress my family and my Omni friends. But less than 20 pence a portion, and this is breakfast living on a survival budget, believe it or not.